Ladies and gentlemen, please turn your attention to the stage.
Mic 1 is live.
Happy birthday!
Stage lights up.
And now please welcome, for the very first time,
We're on in 5, 4, 3.
100 million moments. This is the canvas upon which you create. It's chaotic and competitive. It's layered and loud. And it carries on at a pace so fast that some days it seems unmanageable. 100 million ideas. These are the tools of your art, making the unseen a reality. And so, you create, with to-do lists that go on forever, endless revisions from clients who seem impossible to please, running from one event to another with hardly a moment to take a breath or sleep in your own bed. Often thankless, often fleeting, sometimes forgotten. Through late nights in rooms lit only by the glow of your laptop. In boardrooms where no one else understands the majestic vision you see so clearly. In ballrooms where everyone rushes and rallies and refuses to slow down. And yet, my friends, it all matters. With your effort and your heart and your skill together, you envision events that become unforgettable memories for those who actually pause to witness and for those who just get lost in the moment. Though they may never know your name, countless people will experience inspiration, delight, and elegance because of your passion. In a time that can seem overwhelmed with darkness, you choose to showcase the glories, to bring order to the chaos, to express the true flavor of being alive. You remind all of us, for just a few moments, of the beauty in ourselves, and you help us rekindle the light we've lost. In a world that seems to always destroy, you create. With careful focus and detail, you sculpt an experience with light and color, movement and sound, taste and texture. You craft feelings and share ideas. You illuminate the art around us and within us that is so often missed. Your work adds to a tapestry of dreams, a canvas of creativity that brings into focus our celebrations and achievements and victories. Consider the collective brilliance gathered in this room today. The imagination represented in the 100 million moments that you have designed. Imagine the landscape ahead, filled with wonder and magic and light. In your heart, pause with me right now to witness those 100 million moments. Then look with me into the next series of masterpieces that will be born because of your effort. And celebrate with me, dear friends, because this beauty matters.
Welcome. I'm Kathleen Storr, Director of Community and Content Strategy for Caterource and the special event. And I'm coming to you live from my home office in Minneapolis, feeling a little weepy about that opening video. Every time I watch it, it really affects me. If you were not at Caterource and the special event in Las Vegas for Michael Cerbelli's The Hot List, this may have been your very first time seeing Stage Story by Brett Culp. 100 million moments. I love it. It's captivating. truly captivating. You'll hear from Michael Cervelli later in this program, but he recently told me that this film was one of his favorite unexpected moments from his 2020 hot list because there couldn't have been a better message that was never planned. We never expected a pandemic to shut down an industry that celebrates the most beautiful moments of life. So welcome, my friends. Thank you for being here today. As the industry ramps up again, I know your time is precious. I hope you know how much it means to all of us that you scheduled this meeting in the middle of a short week, no less. Today's pep rally is truly a small Butler Pass app to get you ready for the main course in July. Throughout this event, you will meet 6 people who represent a swath of the hundreds of sessions and speakers we will have for you next month in Miami Beach. Are they going to spoil their sessions? Not at all, but they will give you a solid takeaway that you can use right now before you get to the show. You'll also get a few other tidbits about the show, and please note that if you have questions about our live event in July, we are here for you. Speaking of questions, there should be an Ask a Question box at the bottom right of the presentation area. Because we only have 90 minutes, I'm going to collect those questions at the end of the event and forward them to the speakers. I'll take comments too. These speakers are still placing final touches on their live presentations, so comments or questions are always helpful. If you are having technical issues during this presentation, look over to the left side of your screen and click on the Help Desk button. This is not a bot. There are actual people waiting to address your issue. What I'm going to do now is to introduce the first 3 speakers and then get out of their way so that they can teach you something. My first speaker is probably the one out of this group that I've known the longest. I met her just 6 weeks into my tenure at the company, and in sticking with the pep rally theme, she has long been one of our most fervent cheerleaders. If you have not met Meryl Snow in person, she is a sales and marketing dynamo. And once you've met her, you will never forget her. She will offer a variety of teaching experiences for you at our event. Meryl will hand the stage over to Miss Dima Gawi, who is new to our shows this year. Dima will be speaking on our bridge stage, tackling the topic of diversity and inclusion. If you are in the midst of a rehire, she will have solid info for you on creating a truly welcoming workforce. From there, Dima will pass the stage to Chef Greg Taylor of the Black Fox Company. Greg will be teaching his class on buffet building on our culinary main stage, and he's also participating in our annual diced competition on the trade show floor. Buffets are a true workhorse in the catering industry and took a pandemic beating. Greg will talk about the future of buffets in a post-COVID era, and he will also demo build one at the event. There will definitely be some photo opportunities at the show too, because he'll be building one set on stage, but we'll have a replica available for you to mill around and take some photos afterward. Just a note that if for some reason somebody's internet goes wacky, we may mix up the order a little bit of our speakers, but that's how I'm hoping to make it go for this first half. That's it from me. It's time to start the rally. Meryl, do you have your pom-poms ready? Okay, let's go, team.
Hello, everybody. My name is Meryl Snow, and thank you, Kathleen, for that wonderful introduction. You know, I would be remiss not to mention that 2020 was a year of challenges and resilience. And while we saw plenty of people in our industry find success personally and professionally, we know the journey wasn't always easy. This pandemic brought the industry to its knees. You know, most of us continue to try and wrap our heads around what's going on in the world, and most directly in our own neck of the woods. We are all trying to figure out what's ahead and how to best position ourselves and our businesses to handle it all. Chances are you have made some hard decisions in the last year, no doubt. You've had difficult conversations with your employees, your vendors, your bank, some conversations that you thought you would never, ever have. In the past 15 months, you have either furloughed, laid off, or even terminated. You may have guided your team through the unemployment process, and odds are you were running your business at 20% capacity or none at all. And on top of that, you're working on the PPP round 1, PPP round 2, the EIDL grant, and currently the RRF fund. So regardless of politics, we are fortunate that our government had these programs for us to survive. And plenty of companies are now operating with the skeleton crew, and many companies are needing to close dates due to the labor shortage. It will not be like that for long, but we're here. We've made it through the most difficult time that our industry has ever seen since the Great Depression in 1929. Within the past year, many of us feel like startups again. But think of it this way. We may be startups, but we now have the knowledge that we didn't have when we first started our businesses. So we are confident that the industry will recover from this crisis. No question about that. We already see the light ahead of us. Weddings are back. Corporations are slowly returning to their events, which was much quicker than we anticipated. So now it's time to regroup, refocus, and rebuild. We need to rebuild our sales team to develop a high-performance sales conversion machine that generates results. An effective, profit-driven sales team is more important now than ever before, with most companies in dire need of recouping the losses from 2020. So I have 3 sessions during the conference, and the first one is selling events post-COVID. We all know that the pandemic has amplified our challenges, exposing weaknesses in our existing sales models, and selling will no longer be about touting our accolades and awards. This game has changed. So I'll go over 6 sales techniques to embrace the new process. And when headcounts have dropped, how to recoup that lost revenue. And what do you do now to keep your sales team productive and reach their sales goals? And another session I'm doing is complacency of a team. We all know what it feels like to be managed skillfully as opposed to being managed poorly. If you are in management, know that intimidation doesn't work. Right? A drill sergeant doesn't earn respect. So motivating a team is one of the most important things a leader can do. And without guidance, employees can fail and suffer and unsure of what to do next and how to succeed to their highest potential, which we need right now. While it's true that no one can truly motivate anyone, a good leader can do a tremendous amount to influence people and to encourage their motivation and success. And then I will be doing build a modern selling strategy. Your sales team is directly connected to your business performance. And in a modern way, you need to have a modern sales strategy to meet the needs of today's clients. In this session, I'll share what it means to be modern when selling to prospects and how to retire those tired old sales tactics once and for all. And I will reveal some tried and true strategies for booking more clients and making more money from each sale. So I am so excited about this conference for so many reasons. But the first being is that we are a tribe, all of us. We support and help one another and provide one another with a sense of purpose and community. We're at this conference to learn, to laugh, and most importantly, to encourage each other. This is our tribe. We support each other, not only when things are going great, but more importantly, when we're in crisis. Now that is the greatest source of power. I can't wait to see all of you in Miami. Thank you. And Demi, you are up next.
Hello, everyone. I am Dima Gawi, and for sure, I want to attend Meryl's sessions. It sounds so amazing, everything that she shared with us. In my situation, I believe that my talk is going to be building on a lot of the things she talked about related to creating an inclusive and healthy and work environment. We all know what happened last year with the murder of George Floyd and how that impacted so many things related to conversations focused on diversity, equity, and inclusion. A lot of organizations, they want the right thing. They want to create a culture. They just don't know how. They don't know how to, what strategies to put together, and also how to ensure that if there are biases, which we all have biases, that they're not affecting the hiring, the promotion, the mentorship, and the engagement for the employees. So this is what my talk is going to be all about. It's about creating an inclusive work culture where people come to work, they feel safe, regardless of their background, their ethnicity, sexual orientation. They're showing up, being themselves, being creative, being happy, and so we'll be able to get the most out of them. This is definitely a very important topic, and it's not specific to an industry. It applies to every single industry. It applies to every single business. So join us so you can learn about some of the biases. By the way, we have 180 biases, each one of us. So I'm going to share with you some of them during the talk. I'm going to share with you information about how we can manage and ensure that we're not letting these biases affect the hiring. And also to think about the steps that you would need as you're putting together a diversity, equity, and inclusion strategy. As I am leaving you today, I want to ask you a question, and it may sound funny, but it's not. Do you think there's a correlation between an individual's height and his or her leadership potential or leadership ability? Do you believe that there is an association between a woman's weight and her ability to lead? Do you think there's a correlation between an individual's skin color and their ability to lead? You may be hearing these and you may say, absolutely, there's no correlation. But the reality is different. The statistics, the facts, they say something totally different. And that's why we need to talk about our implicit biases, because we can be the best people in the world, but with the best intentions, but we're also doing things that we may not be aware of that are affecting how we're engaging as a team, how we are leading, and how we're attracting the best talent. So I am looking forward to seeing you in my session so we can talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion. I have all kinds of stories ready for you to engage you, and of course activities, so you would be able to leave with the most information out of my session, and you'll be able to go back to your team and implement the strategies that we're going to discuss. Thank you, and I'll pass this now to Chef Greg Taylor.
Hi, everybody. I'm Chef Greg Taylor. Thank you, Meryl. Thank you, Dima. Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you, everyone, for being here and introducing me. I'm super excited because this will be my first Caterource conference, believe it or not. So I kind of am a lot like many of you who this may be your first time coming to something so powerful. And then also, this is my first time coming out of the house post pandemic and COVID. And so, what my session will be about, it's titled The Business of Food Displays. And it's surprising because there's a lot of confusion, like how is there business in it and how can you teach something like that? I've gotten that question a lot. But no one tells you how to set up a buffet that'll open doors for more opportunities, right? It's always something that's assumed you know how to do, but yet your culinary presentation is actually an investment seen not just by your clients that you've already gotten, but by their guests as well. Okay, so anyone at that event, at that wedding, at that special service, whatever you're having, they're going to see it as well, and that's your future client. Each client is different. So why aren't your setups different as well? I'm kind of annoyed with seeing the same chafing dishes and the aluminum pans and things that are set up normally like you see at a picnic or a family gathering, but why not create an experience for everyone that's going to be at your event? So what I want you to do is get ready for inspiration as you can learn to properly execute the client experience by properly building your food displays. But also, what I'm really excited about is that this session will also teach COVID safe buffet setup. Now, what I mean by that is a lot of rules that are in place now due to COVID, unfortunately. You have the 6 feet socially distanced, you have to stand apart. You have to make sure there's less contact with spoons and serving and different things that buffets should have already done in the past anyway. One thing that kind of gets under my skin is I'm really, for one, I'm claustrophobic, so I don't like confined spaces, okay? Whenever I'm at the grocery store and there's someone standing in line right behind you to where you can literally hear like every chew that they're making on their bubble gum or something that they have in their mouth, or you can hear their phone conversation, I always put the basket behind me and I stand in front of it so I can keep that distance from being too close. It's the same practice for buffets. A lot of people look at buffets as, ew, I don't want to go to a buffet. But as a kid, and I'll tell you more about this once the conference gets here, but as a kid, I loved going to buffets because having all of those different assortments of food, like where do you start? But with COVID safe buffet setups, the best thing to do now is to space out your food, space out your presentations, incorporate smaller containers like these little cups and spoons that are already set up. It's the same for like a brunch buffet if you have like a parfait in a martini glass or anything that's individually wrapped or set aside. Those types of setups look really, really good. So why not incorporate that with your regular food, even for dinner, for a lunch buffet, whatever you choose or whatever you're hosting, have that as part of your setup. It's actually going to cut your costs down. And I'll explain that further once the conference gets here. So make sure you come to my session. But it's going to bring your costs down. And it's also going to make you look even more attractive to your current client. And your future client is going to see that display as a way of kind of like a calling card. Oh my gosh, Chef Joe did a great job with that buffet setup, or Chef Greg did an awesome job with that buffet setup. I'm going to also show you how to fill those spaces, but not with a lot of clutter. I love hosting these events called the Chef Greg Taylor Dining Experience, where I invite a few people, about 15 or so, maybe less. They come to an undisclosed location and we set up a buffet or we set up a dining experience. Everything in the room relates to the dinner that they're going to have. So if it's Moroccan theme, we have pillows, we have drapery, we have lanterns, any type of theme that you can think of, we've done. Okay. This I'm going to show you how to do with your buffet setups by filling in those gaps in those spaces. You never know. You might want to include the florist or the planner for your event, your designers for your events, mainly weddings. And they can also design your buffet table as well. But wouldn't it be more attractive to your client to know that, hey, Chef Greg and his team comes fully equipped with incorporating my theme with the food as well? Because buffets are many times overlooked, but I'm going to show you how to prevent that from happening because they can be overlooked, but yet they can be the focal point of the event. Buffets that are 360 degrees or that are just one-sided, or even trying to figure out how to get more servers added to the budget because we all worry about budgets, right? Especially with what happened in 2020, a lot of people are tighter with their funds now. So I'm going to show you during this session how to keep the funds rolling, how to make that sales pitch. Meryl's going to do a great job with sales, and you're going to be able to learn from every session. By the end of this retreat, well, this conference, I call it a retreat because I love doing this. But by the end of this conference, you're going to have so much knowledge that you can incorporate into your business. And I definitely want you to come to my session and get what I have for you because it's going to be awesome. This is a pep rally, so I'm excited about what's happening in July, and I can't wait for you guys to join me and see more of what I have. So thanks, everybody. See you in July.
Well, that was fun. And I saw some comments coming through. Thank you for those and keep them coming. I'm so excited. All right. I have a pretty cool announcement before we start our second set of topics. After the live show is over in July, we will be offering a 2-day virtual event on July 28th and 29th. With any show education pass purchase, attendees will receive free access to the virtual event. Highlights will include the opening general session with Pablo Holman. We'll give you Michael Cerbelli's The Hot List, his 20th anniversary. We'll give you the excitement of the Diced competition, emceed by Emily Ellen, David Tutera's Be Bold session, along with a few special sessions that we are curating especially for after the show. Plus, you will receive the majority of the live sessions from the show on demand for 6 months afterward. Now, if you cannot attend the show, which will make me very sad, you can also purchase the virtual event and on-demand access separately for $299. All of this information will be up on our website shortly at either conference.caterource.com or thespecialeventshow.com. One other note, every single session at our event can help you work toward Certified Meeting Planner, CMP, certification. Additionally, there are 30 sessions that qualify for American Culinary Federation CEH credits, like Greg's session. Whether you are live or watching it afterward on demand, the credits can be obtained. All right, I've got another trio of speakers to introduce. Julia Conway is our first speaker. She was instrumental in advocating for the reopening of events in the state of California and was also on the front line for the formation of CAPE, the California Association for Private Events. Today, we are left with a lot of questions and ambiguity around the U.S. In her session in July, she will address the basic steps your business needs to take evaluate specific challenges, I should say, in serving larger events. I'm thrilled to have her share a few of those bullet points today. Julia will hand it off to a guy with 1,000 irons in the fire, and including a newly opened event venue, Mr. Anthony Lombados. He is the owner and coach at Footer's Catering in Denver. His staff, they are like the model of what we want our staffs to look like, dedicated to the company and supportive of each other. How does he do it? He will tell you about how to lead a team. And finally, the CEO and president of Cerbelli Creative out of New York City, Mr. Michael Cerbelli, will wrap this event up. Part of Michael's tremendous allure is that he is best experienced live, and you'll get that at the show in July, of course. But he tends to pop off the screen too, so be ready for his incredible way of lifting us up and out of our pandemic funk. Before we start with Julia, however, I want to acknowledge all of the wonderful associations, groups, and foundations who will be attending the conference in July. Can you roll that clip, please?
Thank you, Kathleen, for the lovely introduction, and thanks to Meryl and Dima and Greg for speaking ahead of me. I think we've got this incredible team pulled together, and hopefully all of you that are watching are getting excited about attending the conference coming up in July in Miami. I'd like to start out by saying that I was at the last Caterource in Las Vegas, and it was an interesting time to be in the industry. We were all very happy to see each other. Things were coming together, but there was a rumbling in the background of a pandemic, COVID-19. And we knew somehow that this was going to impact our businesses, but we had no way of knowing how. And we watched as the clock ticked on through the days we were there, getting frantic calls from our staffs back home, talking about cancellations, talking about closures, talking about all sorts of things. I saw a lot of my colleagues and friends literally witnessing their businesses melt down. We saw sessions that were supposed to cover one thing suddenly pivot, I hate that word, but pivot to cover some of the issues at hand, to talk about how our hospitality partners were dealing with the crisis. And I remember incredibly flying out of Las Vegas on Friday the 13th as they were shutting down the lights on the Strip. And that is a sight I hope I never have to see again in my life. And again, I'm excited about getting together with everyone again this coming July in Miami. I have one session this year, and we have a really sexy topic to talk about. It's safety. And that was a topic that when I was starting to craft ideas for sessions, I didn't think was going to be something I'd be pitching at Caterource. But it's come to become one of the more important challenges for any and all of us, be you a planner, a caterer, a staffing company, anyone that's bringing people together for an event. We have to think about how to keep them safe, how to keep our employees safe, how to deal with all the different factions of people that we have to talk to in order to pull off events in this new environment. And I'm happy to say that after almost 14 months closure, the state of California opened us up in the middle of April, and we're hoping by the 15th of this month to go to a more broader level of reopening where events can begin to look a little bit more like they did before the pandemic. But all of us, no matter whether you've been open the entire time, whether you've had to take on other challenges, whether your state was closed down, whether you have regulations to live with, some of the biggest challenges you've had to face are the differences in the national, the state, the local regulations. How the heck do you sort through all of that? What if there are no guidelines? Some of my colleagues are in states that have been wide open ever since the thing started. And so they're having to find their way to take care of their customers and take care of their employees and, make it up as they go along. We have to convince our clients and our team members that we can keep them safe. We have to figure out who's in charge. Is it the venue? Is it the caterer, the planner, the hosts? Government's certainly not going to figure that out for us. How do we work with our creative partners in the industry? As a caterer, I have probably 8 to 10 other vendor partners that are working with me to make an event happen, and each one of their needs have to be taken into consideration. And last of all, will the people at the event still have a good time? Will they come? Will they enjoy themselves? Will they feel relaxed enough to toast to a couple's marriage or to the success of an organization? And so in my session, we're going to go over some of the basics that we're going to need to do in order to reopen safely, no matter what the state of the guidelines are in your region. We'll learn how to evaluate our own operations. You'll walk away with a template that allows you to look at each one of the things that you do and find those touch points that can be potentially risky and mitigate those risks. We're going to talk about communicating with our clients, how to be proactive, how to discuss these tough topics. No one wants to call a bride up and tell them that their wedding pictures have to be taken wearing a mask. We all have challenges that we need to work through, and strong communication with our clients is a critical foundation. We also need to communicate with our vendor partners and with our own teams. We need to make sure that they feel like they're being heard and their concerns are being addressed. Something else, as event professionals, we don't do a lot. We have to learn to negotiate with oversight entities, with governments, with organizations that are tasked with keeping everyone safe. So we have to learn who to check in with and where to go for this information. And lastly, we have to find a way to make sure that everyone still has a great time. Everyone still has fun. We need to take these mitigations and integrate them seamlessly into the experience of the event so that they become a fun and whimsical part of the event that becomes part of the memories that our clients and their guests walk away with after having an event in this extraordinary time. So I'm really excited to see all of you there. I'm just looking forward. When I heard that we had a good crowd watching this webinar, I was absolutely thrilled. I've been living in this little 10 by 10 foot home office now for the last 14 months and talking to all my clients via video and talking to my colleagues via video, and I can't wait to give Meryl a big hug when I get there. So looking forward to seeing all of you. I think we're all going to have an amazing time, and I'm going to pass off now to Anthony Lombados and let him charm you as well. Thanks very much.
Everybody doing? It's an honor to be part of this panel. Julia, thank you so much. And Meryl, Dima, and Greg, awesome stuff as always. I'm just beyond thrilled to be there in Miami in a couple months here. It's one of my favorite times of year to be with our industry, with our peers, and after what we've been through, I think there's definitely going to be a few drinks had at the bar. So looking forward to all of that. I think everyone I've talked to right now, a lot of us are struggling, and we're struggling in a different way. To rebuild our organizations is a challenge that may be harder than what we faced last year, albeit a better challenge and one that I definitely will welcome over what we went through. But a challenge nonetheless. Many of you I know are struggling to find people right now. I was just reading an article the other day, and it said 90% of restaurants in Colorado are struggling to find workers. 40% of restaurants across the nation say they're severely understaffed. And when you think about what's happened to our industry, our industry lost 4 million jobs over the past year, and getting those back is an uphill battle. We've lost a number of people to other industries. I was reading another statistic in Harry, the online hospitality recruitment platform, actively partnered with CVS, Amazon, Walgreens, Kroger, Walmart, and Dollar Tree, and other major retailers to help redeploy a community of more than 1.2 million hospitality workers. So a quarter of what we lost already got redeployed to other industries. And when you think about the magnitude of that, that has a trickle down that I think we're all facing and trying to find great people to come on board and rebuild our organizations. I do believe that there's hope ahead. Also, right now there's still 16% of the industry's employees remain unemployed. So there's still a good chunk of people that are out there that want to come back to work. And as I said, I think that there's some optimism on the horizon. When you think about summer, we've got students, and that's an amazing pool that I know, Meryl, you've done an incredible job of tapping into that, and many others. they're going to be a welcome addition to our workforce. When you think about just the relaxed restrictions and the easing up of childcare facilities for some of the moms and parents that have kids that have had to stay home, I think that's a huge opportunity for them to come back into the hospitality industry and our workforce in general. People are generally feeling more comfortable, which is great. And then, as we've all talked about, the nearing of the added unemployment benefits are coming to an end. For many of you, I know that couldn't be soon enough. But at the end of the day, I think that there's a tremendous opportunity for us ahead in what we can accomplish. And one of my sessions at Caterource is going to be all about thinking about the leader you want to be. And through these times, we have to be better leaders than we've ever been before. And I want to share with you 4 of the things that I think have made us successful at Footers, and four things that through our sister company, Mob Tribe, that we work with a lot of other companies on. And it's these 4 convictions. The first is lead, and that's value people for more than the job they do. We're having trouble hiring people right now. If you're losing your own people, you're just compounding that problem. And so we have to focus on retention first. Are we burning our team members out, or are we really responding to what they need at this point in time? Are we checking in with them on a regular basis? And are we doing things to create an environment, as Dima talked about, that is somewhere where they want to come to work, where they feel included, where they feel part of that culture, and they want to go and work hard? It's on us as leaders to make sure we're creating that environment and not just looking at people as a person to plug into a hole to do a job. The second one is love, and that's open yourself to be authentic, genuine, and vulnerable. And when we talk about this, I think it alludes to the current situation through communication. It is more important than ever that we communicate with our teams about what is going on, the challenges we're facing, and being vulnerable at times of, it's hard on us as leaders. And it's not about spilling all of our deepest and darkest secrets, but it's an opportunity to be transparent about where the company is going, painting a big picture so that people understand where the company is going and how they play into that part of it. It's easy to get caught in the minutia, especially as we get busier and busier and we ask people to do more and more with less. And so we have to really take that step back and say, here's what we're working towards, here's the goal, and even here's our path to get there. We don't have all the people we need right now, but by the next 2 to 3 months, here's what the steps we're taking to get there. The third conviction is MIBE, and MIBE is the acronym that we have here at Footers for Make It Better Every Day. And it was born out of the idea that, yes, we're a second generation business and we're celebrating 40 years this year, but we don't want to do the same thing we did 40 years ago. We want to continue to be innovative and be creative. And this is a time that calls for innovation. We can't sit back and be victims, especially as leaders, and complain about all the things that are facing us and all the problems that are in front of us. That's not going to solve our issues at hand. We have to get more creative than ever and get innovative with how we go and look for people, how we rebuild our organizations. As I mentioned, there's some tremendous things that are going on within our industry. And if you come and be around all the amazing caterers that are going to be there in Miami, I think you're going to find that there's some inspiring tales that are being told of people that are not only finding workers, but thriving in this environment that's extremely difficult. But it takes innovation, and it takes us to think about things a little bit differently. It's been said, if we do the same thing and expect a different result, that's just not gonna work. And so we have to really think about doing things differently. And the final one is tribe. Work doesn't have to surround yourself with a kick-ass team. Now it's more important than ever that we're intentional about the teams we're building. It is very easy to go down the slippery slope of desperation hiring because we have to have people. And I caution you that, yes, that may fill a short-term need, but in the long run, it's going to cause you problems and issues. And so as we think about hiring and who we bring onto our team, we have to be more critical than ever, despite the challenges we're facing of the shortage of workers that we have in our industry. I think we have an incredible time right now to rebuild our organizations. Many of us have been stripped down to the core, and there's 2 options you can go. You can build back what you had and go back to business as usual, or you can think about it a little bit differently. How do you build a foundation that will support something even stronger than what you had before? My other class that I'll be teaching, and many of you know I love to talk about culture, is how do we intentionally think about our culture so we have a culture by design and not a culture by default, a place where people can thrive. And I think that the next 2 years are going to be huge for our industry. I think we have an amazing, amazing opportunity where business is going to come flowing back. People are ready to party, they're ready to get out, and we are going to see it come our way. And the companies that double down on really solidifying their foundation and getting to a place where they can support that growth are going to thrive and push themselves ahead of the rest. And as leaders, it's going to call for us to be even better than ever. So thank you. I look forward to seeing you in Miami, and I'm going to turn it over to Michael now.
Hello, everybody. Michael Cerbelli with you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Kathleen, and the entire Informer Connect family for having me here today. Meryl, Dima, Chef Greg, Julia, Anthony, phenomenal job. Great messaging from everybody. My one takeaway, my strong takeaway, and I'm asking myself this question, I'm going to ask Dima this question in person, if my Brooklyn accent has anything to do with a French accent and how people look at me may be any different, because I don't have a French accent, I have a Brooklyn accent. So am I looked at very differently? Like, what the hell's the matter with that guy? Why is he talking funny? So I talk funny, that's it. So everybody, if you've been to TSC before, you've been to the hot list, I hope. And this year would have been the 20th anniversary celebration. And we're going to have that 20th anniversary celebration. Will it be a little different? Yeah, it's going to be a little different. But it's going to be an amazing, amazing show. Thursday, March 12th last year, Michael Cerbelli's The Hot List celebrated its 19th year of ideas. Amazing, right? On that morning, I knew when I was going to hit that stage, we were going to walk into a different mindset on Monday morning when we got back on March 16th, Monday morning, March 16th, back to our offices. The night before, the president at that time made an announcement, the airports are closing and we're not going to be able to travel and people are freaking out. And we saw things from that Monday when I arrived in where were we last year? I don't even remember where we were someplace, but Las Vegas. We were in Las Vegas. We closed Las Vegas. How can I forget? I'm sorry. When I arrived in Las Vegas that Monday morning, we knew, and we were hearing from people the cancellations, what was happening. A dear friend of mine, Raul Jonas from Party Rental Limited here in New York City, said they had 300 cancellations, and that was on Wednesday morning already for what was coming. The storm was there. We knew it. People were, should I hug you? Should I shake your hand? Thank God. Thank God, and I heard it from the whole TSC CS family that no one got sick from that conference. A miracle in disguise. But I knew that Thursday morning that I was going to hit that stage and put everybody in a mood that we had to be clearing our heads for a little while. So when TSC and Caterource asked me to be on this today, they said, we want you to focus on how do we come back? Hashtag Event Strong. And that meant a lot to me, that question, because when I hit that stage that morning, Sarah Miletus, my senior director of operations and production here, said I pulled an audible that morning. I said, everybody stop for a second. The show's going to start, but clear your heads. For the next hour and a half, enjoy the show, enjoy what's going to happen here, because on Monday morning, we're going to have to make tough decisions. And we're going to have to make choices that we don't want to make, but it's coming. And we knew it was coming. So I told everybody on that morning to stay hashtag Event Strong. And that's where hashtag Event Strong was born. So we went on with a show. It was a kick-ass show. I wish it was my 20th anniversary show because it was that good. And not knowing what we knew that day, ending the show the way we started this show today with Brett Culp talking about 100 million moments was the most incredible ending to any hot list or any show that wasn't planned, as Kathleen said. And we left people there choked up, emotional. If you watch that video again, if you ever see that hug that I gave Brett on that stage and I whispered in his ear, I love you, brother, because he hit it. He nailed it. Because literally, we closed Las Vegas. So we closed it and we moved on. And now we're getting into a year, 15 months that we didn't expect. Julia, I can't agree with you anymore. I hate that friggin' word pivot. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. All right? I sound like Ross from Friends. Pivot, pivot, pivot. That's all everybody was saying for a year. And it was ridiculous because we didn't have to pivot. What we did here at Cerbelli on Monday, March 16th, we sat down as a team and said, okay, we're going to work from home. I was very surprised by my industry and how many people literally shut the doors immediately. And I understand why, but I looked at it differently. Why did we close the doors on that day? Why did we not take this chance? And I told my team, I don't know what's ahead right now. I literally was moving into a brand new building, in New York City, an 1894 firehouse. Amazing, 4 floors, shared space. We got it in February. We were moving in April 1st. That didn't happen. We spoke to both landlords. We extended things, made things happen from the move to this and whatever. The team went home, worked for 3 months from home, and we moved into this office June 1st. And in those 3 months, we looked, we planned, we moved. And as Anthony talked about team before, it was my team. It was my tribe. I like that word, Anthony, tribe, that kicked ass. And within 2 weeks, we were doing virtual. And within 15 months, we did over 180 virtual events. But we didn't pivot. We moved the needle 5 to 10 degrees. And that's how we got to where we are today. And that's why I'm in this brand new building, moved in June 1st. We were wearing masks around the office and we kicked ass. We put every resource that we wanted to into this business and to make it grow. And when we get to the special event this year, Caterource, when we're on that stage, you're going to see a very different hot list. I'm going to focus on a very different way that we do this show. I'm not going to talk about all the new trends because there aren't new trends. This is not the year that we're going to be saying, watch this and watch me pull a rabbit out of my butt. It's not going to happen on that stage this year. It's going to be a show that entertains and informs and energizes you. And if you're thinking about going to TSC Caterource this year, if you're thinking about it, I'm going to tell you something. Get that money up because this is the year to go. You want to know why? Because it's probably going to be, and let's be honest, I'm not going to fool around and tell you, oh, it's going to be the biggest show ever. It probably won't be the biggest show ever, but the leaders of the industry will be there, and this is the closest you could get to them with all the crowds being around them. So yes, we might not have 7,000 people there. We might have 2,000, 3,000, whatever that case is, but it'll be a smaller, more intimate audience that you could get into people closer and spend time with. So this is the year that we need to come back, talk about this, get energized, and fix our businesses to expand and to grow. And I'll tell you every step of the way why I didn't fail. Like Anthony said, put the resources into it. I not only opened up this building this year, I expanded the team. I gave promotions. I brought in the right people. We didn't settle. We wanted to get to this level. And I want to talk about that on stage. The hot list this year for the 20th anniversary is going to talk about this future, this greatness that came from COVID. Greatness came from COVID. Hear what I just said. It catapulted our industry 5 years into the future with technology, with energy, with excitement, new ways to do things. And if you learned anything from this year, save money, take chances, because you never know when that storm is going to come. So we released #EventStrong with positive messaging and branding and getting people involved in this industry. That's how we stayed event strong. And I want to get everybody event strong. I want to talk to people that succeeded beyond their means this year. That meaning, how did they get there with no real business coming in, with minimal? Yeah, I did 180 events. It wasn't 180 of the Michael Cerbelli events. There wasn't. I didn't do the $1 million wedding. I didn't do the $2 million bar mitzvah. I did the $10,000 conference. I did the $20,000 conference. I did the $1,000 magician. But we did it, and we did it as a team. And we could do this together as an industry. And I could tell you all, and I promise you, and I hope you will listen to these words. This is the moment that none of you should start making deals going forward with your clients. This is the year that people should be paying for their energy, paying for your energy, paying for your time, and paying for your services. There's no more giving it away. There's no more, oh, if you do this event, the crowd there, the phone calls that you're going to get the next day, it's going to be off the charts. Forget about it. That's what I say to you, all right? You want something? We'll work out something, but don't ask me to give it away. Charge for your time. Charge for your energy. Put money away. You save for your family, save for your businesses. I've been through September 11th. I've been through Hurricane Sandy. I've been through 2 recessions. I knew how to save money and put it away. Everybody says there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Well, be prepared. Sometimes that light at the end of the tunnel may be a train coming at you. Know when to jump out of the way and be safe and survive. And that's how we're going to do this as an industry. So I promise you, when I hit that stage this year, it's going to be a different hot list. And I was going to tell you something. This was probably going to be my final hot list. I think 20 years of hearing me on the stage, there's new faces and new energy that's got to come there. It won't be my last. I'm going to do another one in Anaheim in 2022, the 21st anniversary. And I promise you, we're going to be back. We're going to be bolder. We got to get through 2021. 2022 is going to get us back into real live events. And 2023 is when people start forgetting about this. But I promise you, if you join us in Miami, you're going to meet all these wonderful people that were here today. Everybody, all right? Meryl, Dima, Chef Greg, Julia, Anthony, Kathleen, all of us will be there, and I'm going to hug you. I'm going to kiss you. You're going to hear my Brooklyn accent, and I'm going to tell you we're going to kick ass as an industry. So get your butt down there, and if this is not a pep rally enough for you, then I'm going to slap you in the back of the head like a New Yorker and say, wake up, meet the players in the industry, and get down there. That's all I got to say. I rambled. I love you all. I love this whole team that was on this call. I hope to see you in Miami, and we celebrate together as one, because we are in the greatest industry in the world, the live events industry, and everybody stay #event strong. Love you.
How the hell do I follow that? Seriously. I just got off script. He said it. Get your butt down to Miami. I want to offer a big thanks to those who shared their time and expertise today. Meryl, Dima, Chef Greg, Julia, Anthony, and Michael. The speakers you met today represent just a few of the many, many people and sessions that you will experience at the show. I have one more point I need to address before I take leave. Health and safety at the shows. We all know that restrictions and regulations are changing rapidly, but we are taking precautions very seriously. Caterource and the special event, along with our parent company, Informa, have developed a detailed set of enhanced measures to provide the highest level of safety, hygiene, and cleanliness, and to ensure that our attendees, sponsors, and colleagues can connect, learn, and do business effectively, safely, and with confidence. The situation, of course, continues to be fluid. We have a Know Before You Go document that will highlight all of the specifics around our biosafety initiatives. So look for that information on our website. There's some there now. It's continuing to be updated over the next few weeks as restrictions change and we make decisions about the way that we need to be doing our business. We received a fun little health and safety video, however, from the city of Miami, which should also get you excited to attend the show. We'll run that next. If you have not yet registered for our event, go to conference.caterource.com or thespecialeventshow.com and hit the register button. Do it. I really, really would love to meet you in Miami Beach next month. Cheers, and let's roll that video. See you later.
The airport was a wonderful experience because that was what I was worried about the most.
Everyone's taking the precautions necessary in order for everyone to stay safe.
I think the hotel has made every effort to secure their feeling of feeling safe. There's guidelines everywhere. Everyone is wearing masks.
I'm actually down here working remotely, so it's like perfect, beach and work.
And the nicest thing is actually that even though everybody's wearing masks, you can still see them smile through their eyes.
They check your temperature when you first walk into the store. Everybody's wearing masks.
I recommend 100% shopping here in downtown Miami.
I would definitely recommend shopping on Link Road.
Coming from New York, just being outside is huge.
COVID precautions are great when we arrive at the course, and everyone seems to be masked up, so I feel really safe and comfortable being here.
They had ambassadors greeting and showing you where to go. The tables were set up wonderfully for social distancing, with just one person at each table.
I would absolutely recommend an in-person meeting at the Miami Beach Convention Center. I think they've made it completely safe.
There's a healthy balance between meeting in person and online.
Time to travel, let's do it.
We love Miami. We love Miami.
I love Miami Beach.